gonna keep ducking till we finally shine. Indeed, I keep them ducking, baby, time after time. I say ain't nothing but my grind on my mind. See, we started with nothing, then we climbed, and we gonna keep ducking till we finally shine. Indeed, I keep them ducking, baby, time after time. I said it's getting hotter out that flame I came. They try to stop me, straight up block me through that pain I've gained. A newer way, pursue my rays. Look, I don't cry no more. I just load up my mind and let my grind go show. Cause I'm locked in every single day. I be locked in, focused all the way. Man, I'm locked in from the time I wake. I be locked in, I don't need no break. Okay. Let's play. Okay. Let's play. Sorry, ain't no conforming. They'll know when I come for them. They don't know what I'm forming. They get low while I'm soaring. Ain't nothing about abnormal. No, he abnormal. Bad for you, ask for who doubts I shout. I'm asked for you.
Here we go. My bad. I muted myself. Sorry, I was muted. But I'll recap what I said. So these are my post-game reactions from stuff I saw on Twitter, from different videos I saw, and just my thoughts on the Baltimore Ravens, their victory over the Cleveland Browns, which made them the kings of the AFC North once again. And so that's all I said. And once I put it on YouTube, I'll edit that part out. That muted part out. But I appreciate you guys for coming through and enjoying this little pregame stream, because we have a worry-free Sunday. And it's nice to have that. We'll find out who we play later on tonight. We'll find out what time, what day and what time they play later on tonight too, as well as it's a really interesting night game. 2 14-win teams going against each other. Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. But morning, y'all. Morning, P. Brown and Reddies, Wes, Ravenville, Jared, 86 Ghosts. Appreciate y'all. Let's dive right into it. 19.5 spread for the game yesterday. 19.5 spread yesterday. Now this thing says New York Giants, but that was for yesterday. The spread ended up being 20 by the time I looked on my app, which is Hard Rock Bet. The spread ended up being 20. So huge spread. And what I will say is, now, initially I didn't think we was gonna cover because we was tripping in the first half, but we did. And so and normally when you see spreads that big, don't take them. But this time it worked out. Now I did place a little bet on this game, and just a small bet, nothing major, a little something. And it was something. It was an under for something. I think it was under on the points. I did the under on the points because I thought we would score a lot. They would score next to nothing, which is what happened. So I think I hit that one for my little bet on that one. But huge spread, and so they basically expected us to blow them out. First half we was tripping, one offensive touchdown, and then Nate had his, but it is what it is. So let's talk about Lamar and some of the things he did in that game. These are Lamar's numbers, his passing numbers. So outside the numbers and deep, 1 for 2 with a touchdown to Mark. Outside right, he was 1 for 1 with a 30-yard gain. And he really, this chart used to be straight down the middle, and that's where all his numbers would be. We're finally starting to see this season him being able to work outside the numbers. He was able to work outside the numbers, deep, intermediate, on both sides. And so now everything is, you can't just pack the middle of the coverage for Lamar now, because he can throw it deep left, intermediate right, have a check down, taking what the defense give him. So the only part on this chart that Lamar didn't hit or even attempt yesterday was deep over the middle, and that's because they play a lot of cover one. Cover one, everybody in man, one deep safety. And so that kind of takes away that deep middle of the field. But everything else is open when you play defense like that. And so you see he hit in different spots all over the field. All right, let's go to the next one. So this is also Lamar too. So, and keep in mind, some of these numbers overlap. So you see 19 dropbacks, 16 dropbacks, 21 dropbacks. But keep in mind, it's only 35 total dropbacks. So some of these numbers overlap. So just keep that in mind. So when he was kept clean, Lamar was 7 for 18, 113 yards, completion percentage of, what's that, 38.9? That's kept clean. So like no prep, like the whole line did a good job in the pocket. And that was his worst completion percentage. Why? I think those were when we had some of those drops. That's why I think the completion percentage was down when he was kept clean, because we had some drops yesterday. Some people or some statistical sites won't say they was drops, but all us trust our eyes. We had some drops yesterday. Under pressure, he was 9 for 14, 64.3% completion percentage, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Not blitzed. Like when not blitzed and under pressure is two different things, because you can still get pressure on the quarterback without blitzing. That means they got pressure with 4. That's what that means. So when not blitzed, he was 50% on his completion percentage, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns as well. Now again, some of this overlaps, so he didn't have 4 touchdowns. It's just he was under pressure and not blitzed, and he still got those 2 touchdowns off. That means they rushed 4. They didn't send 5. That's all that means. So he didn't have 4 touchdowns, 2. Again, some of these numbers overlap. And then when he was blitzed, he was 50% on his completion percentage, 98 yards, 7 yards per attempt. So overall, 16 for 32, 50% completion percentage, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was Lamar's day right there. Now for the different concepts. So when we ran play action, 4 of 8, 50%. Again, we had some drops somewhere in there. I'm not really sure if they were play action. I don't remember off the top of my head, but we also had a touchdown on play action. No play action, which are straight dropbacks. Like said Hut, and just straight dropbacks, no fakes, nothing like that. He was 12 for 24, 50%, 179 yards, and a touchdown on that as well. 2 screens completed, and plays that were no screens, which was pretty much everything but those 4. He was 50% as well. So as overall, 50% of his passes just completely. 217 yards, 2 touchdowns. So there's no real discrepancy in play action, non-play action, and stuff like that, as there were in some weeks. All right, these 2 throws right here. So I wanted to show these 2 throws. This is the first throw to Mark that we had a penalty and they had a penalty, so it was negated. This is one of the best throws I've seen Lamar make. And I've said that probably 15 times this year. But this is one of the best throws I've seen Lamar make since 2019. He got this ball up and over 2 defenders, and it lands directly in Mark's hands. Check this out. This is, again, one of the better throws I've seen Lamar make ever. The play action off that. Now, Mark's completely covered. And then Grant Delpit is going to try to fall back in this mix. Grant Delpit is down there guarding Likely. So he got it up and over both defenders and hit Marks right in the hand. Now, it would have taken a hell of an effort for Mark to catch this, but I'm just talking about the trajectory and the placement and the touch of this throw. This was a heck of a throw. Now, I don't count this as a drop. I'm just saying, like, this is an amazing throw. All right, so we get penalties on that play. And then to come back and make this throw back to back was amazing. To come back, this is the very next play. For Mark on the other side, run a little corner route. Back it up just a little bit. Because he's looking at Mark the whole time. He's throwing his ball. Mark's covered. I'm assuming he's trying to hit it back here in this area back here by the back pylon, but Mark's covered. But the thing is, the DB's back is turned. That's the kicker. That's the key part of this. The DB's back is turned. So Lamar can kind of put this almost anywhere and just got to trust Mark to go get it. He throws it. Look at that. Perfect placement on Delpit. Perfect placement. Like Delpit reached out for it, but he couldn't get his hand on it. Perfect ball. Back-to-back throws. I mean, just to say it and put it out there, our quarterback is amazing. He's amazing. He's improved his game every year since 2019. Every year. Every year. Those 2 throws back-to-back were extremely impressive to me. Let's keep going. All right, so this is what receivers did versus their different defenders. And, they play a lot of cover 1. So this is it's like man-to-man a lot. So this is Mark Andrews versus McLeod. He was 1 for 1 with 6 yards. Versus Watson, he was 0 for 1. Versus Cameron Mitchell, he was 0 for 1. And Mitchell, I think, is the one that punched the ball out of Mark's hands on one of those catches. I think that was Mitchell. Grant Delpit, Mark had 2 of his 3 catches. One of them being that touchdown I just showed you. Versus Martin Emerson, he was 0 for 1. And versus Mike Ford, he was 1 for 1. So Mark had 4 catches, 54 yards on 8 targets. Rashad Bateman. Versus Warren Thornhill, who I think is a safety, he was 0 for 1. Versus Mitchell, 0 for 1. Versus Grant Delpit, he was 1 for 1. Versus Martin Emerson, 1 for 1. And then he abused Mike Ford. He was 3 for 3. So Bateman had 5 catches, 76 yards. And is Mitchell a corner or a safe? No, it's right there, corner. Mitchell's a corner. Okay. So they're 2 main corners that were healthy. Martin Emerson and Ford. He went to work on those guys. I also got another stat to talk about later on with Bateman as well. And this is Isaiah Likely. Likely had 3 catches for 5 yards. He had his 3 catches, 1 versus Mitchell, 1 versus Delpit, and 1 versus Winston Reed, outside linebacker. And obviously, he's a tight end, so a linebacker will be matched up on him from time to time. All right, let's go to the run game. This is Derrick Henry. And if you watched the video earlier, I told you Derrick Henry in the first half had, where's my paper? 6 carries for 8 yards in the first half. 6 carries for 8 yards in the first half, which is bad. And I showed you why on the video. So if you haven't watched that video, I put it out this morning, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. So go check that out when we finish here. But he had 6 carries for 8 yards in the first half. In the second half, things got different. So this is just play direction right here. And we're just going to see where he got the bulk of his yards. Around the left end, which is probably like around the left end, meaning he got outside of Ronnie Stanley. He got outside of Ronnie Stanley and got yards. So that's what left end is. On that one, he was 4 for 25, 4 attempts, 25 yards with a touchdown. On left tackle, meaning he went right inside of Ronnie. No, I said that wrong. Let me correct myself. Left end mean he went way outside. Left tackle mean he went right off of Ronnie Stanley. Left guard mean he went between Ronnie Stanley and either Voorhees or Ben Cleveland or McCarry. I don't know if McCarry even played. I didn't look at the snap counts. And then middle is right next to Tyler Linderbaum, both middles. And then right guard is over there with Falele, and then right end is with way outside of Rosengarten. Because you see, we don't have an RT. So there were no runs right outside of Roger Rosengarten. Now that I explained it right and got myself situated, let's look at the yardage. So left end, 4 for 25 with a touchdown. Left guard, which was an outside zone play, he was 2 for 43. Left middle, he was 4 for 58. Middle right, 3 for 8. And then the 2 on the right side were bad. And that's an indication of running on the right side. These last 3 numbers are indication of running on the right side. 3 for 8, 1 for 7, 1 for -4. The numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. So that's just telling you, for the most part, don't run to the right. For the most part. And maybe they had some stud defenders on the right side and we couldn't block. Maybe. But you got a Pro Bowl over there, so you should be able to run to the right side. That's all I'm saying. We're going to leave it at that for today. All right, these are the offensive PFF grades for run blocking yesterday. These are the offensive PFF grades for run blocking yesterday. The best run blocker that touched the field yesterday was Ben Cleveland, according to PFF. Now, he didn't have as many plays as the other guys. Right here it says he only has 18 plays, but he still ended up being the best run blocker on the field yesterday, according to PFF. According to PFF. The second best run blocker on the field yesterday, according to PFF, is Andrew Voorhees. Two guys that don't freaking play. Now, Voorhees had way more snaps than McCarry didn't play at all. I don't see McCarry play at all, unless he way down this list. Did McCarry play, y'all? The second best blocker is Voorhees. Our third best run blocker is Daniel Falele. All guards. Now, these numbers ain't great. 60s, they okay. They ain't great. You'd rather have them up there, 75 on up. 90 is great. But, according to the numbers, the best run blocking offensive lineman was Ben Cleveland, Andrew Voorhees, then third was Falele. And keep in mind, they do have everybody in here, but I'm just highlighting the offensive lineman. Linderbaum was next with 60. And that's Roger Rosengarten's not up there. Ronnie Stanley's not up there. So what that tells me is Derrick did a lot, and you'll see it on the video if you go back and watch the one I did. Derrick did a lot of this stuff on his own. Derrick did a lot of this stuff on his own. Now, like I said, none of us know the exact science to PFF's grading system, and I'll give you. If I go ahead and just keep in mind, I said none of us knows the exact science to PFF's grading system, because I'm gonna show you one chart like this, and it's gonna be a terrible grade, and I don't understand why it's a terrible grade, but I'm gonna try to keep that in mind when I get back to it. I'm gonna highlight and let you know. So, but as far as run blocking, Ben Cleveland, Voorhees, Falele was the best run blockers according to PFF yesterday. Pass blocking. The best pass blocker was Ronnie Stanley. Ronnie Stanley had 87.7. Roger Rosengarten was second. So it's crazy. So Pat did play. Pat played 6 plays. Pat McCarr played 6 plays. It's crazy that your guards were the best run blockers. Your tackles were the best pass blockers yesterday. That's wild. Ronnie with an 87.7, which is good. Rosengarten 77.6. McCarry in his 6 plays was 74.5. Let's see. Voorhees was 5th. And Linderbaum numbers look bad. Linderbaum 48. But your tackles were your best pass blockers. Your guards were your best run blockers. And honestly, that's what it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how, if you got a tackle that's good in run and pass, you got a mug. You got a mug. You do. So, all right. This is Brandon Stevens, and y'all saw the picture I tweeted out yesterday with the target on his back, and I noticed that I think Cole said he wanted to use it for a thumbnail, and I think they used it on the vault too. I got somebody text me and told me they used it on the vault too. So that was a funny picture to me. I actually did that while we was live streaming yesterday and made that in Photoshop. But this is Brandon Stevens, and he was targeted 9 times, gave up 6 receptions, and as much as they were picking on, it felt like all these targets came in one drive. But I know they didn't, and I will give him quick props for not allowing that touchdown, the one he raked out at the last minute. I give him props for staying with the play and not allowing it to, not allowing that to be a touchdown. So props to that. But other than that, they was on his head, boy. They was on his head. Jordan Atkins, who was lined up on him 3 times, got 3 catches. Jerry Jeudy got 2 catches out of it. Elijah Moore got a catch out of it. And then Thrash didn't get a catch, but Thrash was the one that he raked the ball out at the goal line. Brandon Stevens, and y'all know me and Chris both, we've been bagging Brandon Stevens, saying, hey, he always in position. He rakes the ball out. He just can't find the ball, but he in position, and we'll take that. And I kind of lost little confidence in him yesterday. I know me losing confidence in him don't matter because I don't coach him or nothing like that, but I felt like this game, and I know a lot of people's been saying it all season, but I felt like this game they really was picking on dude. I really thought they was picking on him. I lost a little confidence in Stevens yesterday, but we'll see. All right, this is Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins gave up a catch to Atkins as well. Jerry Jeudy versus Wiggins was 0 for 2. Elijah Moore versus Wiggins was 0 for 1. And Deontay Freeman, which is a running back, so he probably was in zone on that one. He was 1 for 1. So Wiggins gave up 2 catches for 10 yards, and Wiggins had himself a day. He got the party started with this right here. So check him out at the bottom of your screen. It's Wiggins at the bottom of your screen on, is that Jeudy? And what's going to happen is they're in zone, and the number 2 receiver is going to run a quick out. Number 3 receiver, which is the guy in front of Nate, is going to run an in, and Nate just uses his eyes and reads it. So right here, outside, you see him just jump the outside leverage. So right now he should be hollering in, and getting his eyes on number 2. At this point, he should be hollering in, getting his eyes on number 2. And you see the linebacker that's kind of chasing the number 2 receiver out wide. So what he should do is just drop under Jerry Jeudy, which what Kyle Van Noy does. He settles up because he sees Jerry Jeudy coming inside. Nate's eyes are on the quarterback, looking at that receiver through the quarterback. And at this point, he's probably saying, I know you ain't throwing this ball. I know you're not throwing this ball. And he did. And Nate sat on it, picked it, took it to the crib. Great eye discipline for number 2. Great eye discipline for number 2. All right, this is Marlon Humphreys in that same situations. Marlon gave up 2 catches. He gave up 1 to Jerry Jeudy. He had 3 targets, and then 1 to Jacoby Kobadi, which is a running back. So that probably was like a check down. So I'm assuming we was in zone on that as well. And Marlon is, I'm starting to think folks scared of Marlon again. I really am. I'm starting to think folks are terrified of Marlon and just not, they ain't messing with him. Marlon is having himself a year. I hope it continues throughout the playoffs. Oh, another thing. Let me go back to Nate. So, if you've been following the channel, y'all know who my favorite football player of all time is. Y'all know it. And so Nate got those primes on his feet. And he went at number 2. Hey. You got the number 2 on. You got them primes. Hey. I ain't saying he gonna be prime, but I like where he going. All right, so this is the one I want to double back on and tell y'all like about PFF, and we don't really know how their grading thing is. This is Michael Pierce's coverage grade. How in the hockey sticks does Michael Pierce have a 60.9 coverage grade? He had 1 drop back. He was targeted once, and there was an interception. So how is Michael Pierce's coverage grade 60.9? Now I'm sure they got a way of explaining how it is, but just to us, to our regular eyes, us regular people, how is 1 drop back, 1 target, you got an interception, highest grade of 60? Highest grade of 60. How? How, Sway? How? Don't know, but I want to throw that in there. All right, 5,000 yards. Our quarterback reached the 5,000 yard plateau, and that's rushing and passing. I think he had just over 900 yards rushing and a little over 4,000 yards passing. Would put him combined over 5,000 yards. Awesome feat by 8. Really. Next, Odafe Owe. 10 sacks. He made it to 10 sacks. I tuned in after my call-in show. I went back and looked at James and Glenn, and watched Jimmy eat that Baconator. Well, he looked like he was in pain. A vegan and your first meal, like your first time going back to eat meat, is a greasy Baconator. Yeah, I hope that boy probably hurting this morning. He probably hurting, but it was. Hey, he honored his bet and did what he had to do. I didn't think he was gonna do it that fast, but he did it. All right, so let's go to the next. But I'm proud of Oweh for getting 10 sacks. I feel like he should have reached this milestone early in his career, but he still has some almost sacks. But I'll take progress, and Chuck, keep working with him. Chuck, keep working with him. Next, this is Pierce on his interception. This is probably out of place. Then this picture's probably out of place. But this is Pierce on his interception. Look, he already smiling. This is after he didn't took a knee. That's why. Look at that big old grass thing when he took the knee. Look at that huge grass thing. Look. Like I said yesterday, he ain't replaced his divot. Yeah, you gotta have some golf save. You gotta go replace that divot, Big Mike. All right, so I also saw this right here. This is the most separation by receivers. You have a minimum of 90 opportunities. Number one is Rashad Bateman. 75.16%. Next, and number 5 is Zay Flowers. 70.06. Now, when we play a lot of man teams, it don't seem like we get a lot of separation. It don't seem like it. But I think yesterday Bateman did. I think Bateman took a step in the right direction with just because a lot of times we get good separations because of play action. Because we so good at play action and guys run their routes because you gotta honor Derrick Henry and Lamar run game. So I think they get a lot of that good separation with play action. But I think yesterday Rashad Bateman just ran great routes. And he ran good routes all the time. But for him to be number 1 in the NFL and for Zay to be number 5, to me, that says a lot. That says a lot. Let's keep going. Derrick Henry. In the second half and overtimes of games this season, meaning the whole season, he has 1,182 yards, which is second in the league. He has 746 yards after contact, which is first in the league. 8 TDs first, 55 first downs first, 56 missed tackles first, and he also leads the league in missed tackles forced too. He also leads the league in missed tackles. Well, he did before yesterday's game. So I don't know what's going to happen today, but Saquon ain't playing, so I think he's going to lead the league in missed tackles forced. And then 6.6 yards per carry, second in the league as well. So the more he get, the better he gets. The more he gets, the better he gets. Now, John earlier in the year said we ain't bring him here to carry the ball 25, 30 times a game. 25, 30 times a game for hearing out is what it is. His longest run yesterday was on his 20th carry. So 20 need to be the minimum. But I will say, 34 did look kind of explosive yesterday. And I'm not saying he should take no carries from Derrick Henry. I'm just saying good changeup. And I'm sure Justice Hill will be back next week too. So you're looking at Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, and Derrick Henry. I like that. I'll take that. All right, next. Most 20-plus yard gains in the season. Saquon Barkley, who leads the league with 21 and probably has the best offensive line, or one of the best offensive lines. Derrick Henry sitting at 18 and Jamar Gibbs with 15. Now, to talk about these three guys, if Jamar didn't have to split carries with Monty, he probably would lead this list. And I'll be honest with you. But Jamar and Saquon have 1 and 2, and we can argue which one is better, offensive lines in the NFL. For Derrick Henry to be on this list with the issues we've had with offensive line throughout the season, I think him being on this list is more impressive than those other two guys. And not saying anything bad about those other two guys, Saquon got so many runs where he's not even freaking touched because of his O-line. And then same with Gibbs. He got a bunch of runs where he's not even touched. Derrick got some too, so no shade there. But it's a lot of times Derrick get hit in the backfield. I rarely see these two cats get hit in the backfield. Rarely. and Derrick make it happen. So to me, it's more impressive for Derrick to be on this list than those two because they have great offensive lines. Probably the best in the second. All right, Lamar, 10-yard plus throws, so passes down the field. Nothing short, no check down or stuff like that. 96.5 passer grade, first in the league. 25 touchdowns, first in the league. Only one interception. Only one. And I think that was the interception where him and Bate got confused on. I think that's the one interception he may have on a 10-plus yard. No, 10-plus yard throw was probably the interception from Peyton Wilson. The one Peyton Wilson took from Justice Hill, because that one was down the field. The interception of Mark was short. Bateman's was short. And then the other one, I can't remember who it was short as well. All right, Derrick Henry again. Derrick Henry is the fourth player in NFL history with multiple 1,800-plus rushing yard seasons. Multiple. Hall of Famer. I already thought he was a Hall of Famer anyway, but I think this season cements Derrick Henry as first ballot Hall of Famer. Got 2,000 yards rushing, got a 1,900-yard season, and an 1,800-yard season. He's one of the best to ever do it. And he hit the running back bad age last year at 30. He just turned 31 yesterday. From the looks of it, he got another year or two. Jeremiah just made a good point too that I don't think we took advantage of in the early season. Derrick Henry blocking, chipping and releasing, or helping in pass pro. Like I was dumbfounded why we would take this dude out and put Justice Hill in, as big as he is. He can block, and then he can catch enough to do something with it. He might not be as explosive as Keaton or Justin, but Joe, you get him in space. Them DBs ain't trying to tackle him. They ain't trying. They just cutting at ankles. That's it. But we've adjusted throughout the season and looks to have things going in the right direction going to the playoffs. And that's a testament. And I know we don't want to do it, but that's a testament to John and the staff making those adjustments, finding guys that can do things they need to do, and having a better plan going forward. So again, AFC North champs. Started 0-2, finished on top of the division. Pittsburgh had a comfortable lead going into this nightmare stretch. We had a nightmare stretch too. We won our games. They didn't win theirs. We're back on top as AFC North and the number 3 seed. Most AFC North titles since 2010. Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens at 6. Steelers with 5. Bengals with 4. When I pulled this early, I didn't realize that the Browns fan with the paper bag on the screen. That's crazy. 119.6 passer rating is the 4th best single season mark in NFL history. If we didn't have 3 or 4 drops yesterday, he might have had a chance to get that number 1 spot, but he could have at least stayed in the second, because he was in the second spot. So he could at least stayed in the second spot if we didn't have the drops that we had yesterday. But, we'll take it. 4th best ever. That's a real accomplishment. And just look at all the other things I talked about him earlier. 5,000 total yards. His first 4,000 yards passing season. Honestly, probably could have had 1,000 yards rushing too. All right, this is another one from NFL on CBS. The player on the left set an all-time record for most rushing yards by a QB in NFL history this season. Lamar, he took Mike Vick's record. The player on the right has the 4th best passer rating in history. Hint, they are the same pitcher. Y'all already know what that spells. Putting all these numbers together, it only spells one thing, and that is MV3. This dude is like John said that Lamar can go down as being one of the best to ever do it. And we some of us thought he was that was just like a motivational thing for Lamar. Granted, Pat got some championships on him. Lamar really could. He's 27, I think. Let's just say he played till 37. and his arm only gets better. He good. Now he may not have the championships that Tom Brady gets. He may not even catch Mahomes. But man, he can go down as one of them ones, man. He really could, because this dude is freaking awesome. Look at his numbers as compared to his other MVP years. 2019, 4,333 total yards. This year, 5,087. Total touchdowns in 2019, 43. Last year only had 29, which is amazing how he won it last year, because he beat all them good teams down the stretch. And then Josh Allen had 1,500 turnovers. So 2024, 45 total TDs. Passer rating, 2019, 113. This year, 119.6. Record, 13-2 in 19. This year, 12-5. And I can't blame the record on him. The defense had to figure some stuff out, and they weren't figuring stuff out early in the season. And so what remains to be seen if he wins this MVP. I think he should. What I will say is, I did notice, and I watched it this morning, and one of his biggest detractors, I think, changed their mind and said he should win it. And I'm not talking about Dan Orlovsky this time. I'm talking about Shannon. Shannon came out and said it on Nightcap that H's the guy. He said he used to have a vote when he worked on CBS, but since he don't work there anymore, he don't have a vote. But if he had one, it would go to Lamar. But he also said he think the votes were due last Monday and not this week, which I didn't like that, but that's not on him. That's on whoever is over the voting. The vote should be due this Monday, which I hope it is. I hope he was wrong on that. The vote should be due this Monday, because this ends the regular season. So the Ravens, first team in NFL history with 4,000 passing yards and 3,000 rushing yards. And the offense has been number one. Like when I do the pregame previews for the different teams, our offense has been number one pretty much the entire year. Pretty much the entire year. All right, and let's kind of end it with a few videos right here. This is Big Mike's interception. So you see him down there. He's gonna come. He's gonna fake like he's rushing, and he's gonna drop into coverage. He's right there over the center. Start seeing like he's going. The center puts his hands up to block him. Then he steps back to bail out of there. Sees the receiver, which I love. He sees the receiver and gets right underneath that guy. But that's not the guy that he's going to throw the pick on. He's looking at that whoever that slot receiver is, trying to get underneath him. So he can't catch a quick little slant or something like that. Because you see Urban dropping too. Gets the bunter. He realized that guy's gone. So now he gets his eyes to the quarterback. Doing this better than, look at that. Doing this thing better than some DBs. Now he's squared up. So 36 has a two-way go. He can go left or right. He chooses to go left because Michael Pierce. Me personally, I would have went left too because of Michael Pierce. If I got Brent Urban on one side, Michael Pierce on the other, I'm going to go left to Michael Pierce side because he can't run with me. He can't run with me.
As long
Appreciate
as
that,
LJ
Pete.
stays healthy each season, he will have 6+ MVP and 2+ chips easily.
Agreed. Appreciate that, Pete. Appreciate it. And we just got a new sub too. Hurricane Neil. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all. But again, I would have went left as well. Look at it. And then look at the break on the ball. Look at the break on the ball. Settle his feet. Like he said. Break on it. Hands. And then realize, like Chad and Shannon was saying he should have scored. Like he could have scored if he wanted to. I don't necessarily think so. Because like he ain't got but like two blockers right here. He got Trent Simpson and Robinson. And Bailey Zappi probably catch him. And then whoever this is, the running back probably can catch him too. So I think he did the right thing to go and get down and don't get hurt and get this thing over with, because the game was pretty much over with at this point. But this was fun. I had fun in the live stream watching it. They seemed to have fun on the sideline when it happened, like almost like the whole team was out there. Look at Travis already on the field. Look how far Travis on the field already. So it was a amazing moment, a special way to end that game and to just finish off in the regular season. Let me see. So I got a few more things I want to show you. Then we'll get up out of here. Let me go back to full screen while I change. I appreciate you guys for coming through, and that's a still every time I see it, I'm probably gonna laugh at that for a long time. I'm gonna laugh at that for a long time. Let's see him get my bookmarks up. All right, start at the bottom. So we're gonna start with Pierce talking about his interception.
I want to try for 6. So there's a long history of turning big guy interceptions, the fumbles, and all that stuff into memes. So at the risk of ruining a career play like that for myself, it's time to go home. So the bus was out of gas. We're good.
The bus was out of gas.
I'm glad I caught it. And like I said, Coach preaching smart football. And like I said, I don't want to end up on a meme on Instagram, my wife and everybody laughing at me. So we did the right thing. We got down and kept it moving.
Hey, this was, again, like I said a minute ago, this is one of the funnest things I've seen like in a long time. I had a blast in the live stream with it. Again, they had a blast on the sideline. He got a game ball for it, and it was wild. It was wild. All right, next. This is something we don't see. Like early in the season, remember somebody asked Derrick, he was like, "I don't dance." Y'all remember that? Early in the season, he was like, "I don't dance. I don't dance." But what's this? 500K will make you dance. 500K will make you dance. It definitely make me dance. If I got a 500K incentive, I'm dancing. I'm doing everything. I'm doing it all. And let's we're gonna move on to Harbs talking about Zay Flowers. We all know Zay got hurt, so we're hoping for the best for Zay. So let's see what Harbs had to say about Zay.
I don't have an update. It's something that he has a chance to be okay with, but we'll probably have more details after an MRI tomorrow morning.
So that was last night. So he's probably getting an MRI today. So whenever that comes out, or whenever some information comes out, if I don't see it, you guys tag me on Twitter at Coach Evans 9. If I don't see it, you guys tag me on Coach Evans 9 when somebody's mentions what the prognosis is with Zay Flowers. I think I got one more. Oh no, that's it. That's it, man. So hey, this is my post-game reaction, post-game recap. I appreciate all y'all for coming through. It's about 15 minutes to kick off for the finale of the 2024 season. 13 minus 14 is what? So how many teams don't make the playoffs? No, it's 32 minus 14, 18. So for 18 teams, it's 1, 2, 3 Cancun on 3. All right. So that's what we're gonna do for all those teams that didn't make the playoffs. This is how we're gonna do. It's Cancun on 3. 1, 2,